Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And Hermit energy to begin. All right, we haven't had the Hermit as the first card for any reading, I don't think, in a little while here. I think you've been spending a lot of time getting back in touch with yourself, finding that inner light, finding that guiding star within you. Yeah, I think you've been focused on a lot of spiritual work. I think you've been focused on a lot of the internal changes, a lot of internal growth, a lot of self-work. A lot of self-care, right? A lot of metamorphosis, if you will. Let's put this into some context. Let's see what is going on. Tower energy. Yeah, see a lot of this shedding skin kind of vibe. A lot of changes. I think they're internal changes. The Tower card very much, it looks obviously like a disaster. I don't feel that. Oh, and we've got the Death card too. Wow. Wow, a lot of change. A lot of changes taking place. 10 of Wands, we got 10 of Cups, 10 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles, and the Empress, wow. And the Fool at the end. Oh, you've got the best cards, Taurus, you really do. You're doing all of this inner work, and I think now it's kind of time to take all of that change, all of that growth, all of that stuff that you've let go of. You've shed all that skin, you've molted, right? Now it's time to take your kind of new self out into the world, and I think find love, intimacy, purpose, destiny, find pleasure, find excitement, joy, find love and healing outside. I think that we've found it inside. We've made a lot of changes, and I think though these changes have really opened you up. I feel like there's this rawness about you now. Yeah. And I think then we have to go and kind of re-enter the world in order to heal the rest of us, and to really finish the job here. And I think that's really wonderful. Let's select the mystery card. This is the bonus card, confirmation card. It's a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it'll give us the confirmation we need, right? If at any point during the show you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it an interactive group exercise of intuition, okay? All right, let's look around here. A lot of major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana, and then we've got fire. We've got water. We don't have any air. Maybe that's good. And then we've got our earth energies too. Okay. I think maybe you're coming off of a pretty serious event in your life. I think something kind of prompted you to do this inner work, this reflection, this growth, this metamorphosis, this self-analysis. Maybe it was a period where you did kind of literally withdraw from the world, from people, from your usual kind of circle of friends or family, to do this inner spiritual work. Okay, for some of you, this is going to be a Kundalini type activation. With the Tower card, I really feel it's an entire like full chakra activation. I feel this energy going all the way from the base of your spine to the top of your head, to your crown chakra. And I feel like you're achieving this kind of enlightenment. Your third eye is open, and it's time It's time for you to open your mouth too. It's time to start speaking that truth. And I think maybe that's why we don't have any air cards here. There are no swords, right? We need to start having that conversation with the Empress, with the environment. This card is literally in the position of the environment. And this is kind of saying, get back out into the environment and feel the love, baby. Like, seek out those things that really resonate with your soul and come together with them, unite with them in consciousness, in love. Allow yourself to be healed by that. Allow yourself to experience pleasure and love and joy and bliss and harmony and good food and good music, right? And good friends. And more, and romantic love, if it's also something that you're now ready to seek. All right. Or not even seek, but you're ready to allow it to come in if it's knocking at the door. Yeah. A lot of really good cards. And a lot of these cards are talking about change. See, we've got the Hermit is kind of the one going through the changes. The Death card, the Tower card, change. And then on the other side of that change is healing and love and bliss and experience and opportunity and questing and journeying and traveling and going out into the world. So this is kind of like before and after. Right? Before and after. This is all the change, and this is what results from the change. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Spirit's showing me a tattoo. It's a name. I don't know, an S name, I think. It's in kind of like a stylized lettering. Do you have a tattoo of somebody's name on you? I feel like it's not your current partner. It's a past partner. But I feel like you didn't cover it up. And I think it's because it's kind of a beautiful piece, right? So you don't want to cover it up with like another tattoo, even though it's somebody else's name, right? I don't know who that's meant for, but it's kind of a little bit of not a joke, but it's something maybe that's going to make you smile. I feel like you are letting go of a lot of things, though. So maybe that's indicative of the kind of leaving the past behind. That was an old relationship. It's an old tattoo. But not feeling that we have to hide it or cover it up or deny it or pretend it never existed, right? So maybe that's why we're figuratively and maybe literally not covering up that old tattoo. Yeah. The Death card here in the background. This is a lot of change, and I think that this is a slow, gradual change. See, we have the Band-Aid either comes off slowly or like the Tower card comes right off. Yeah. This is slower change. And I think that this is in a lot of ways, life kind of creeps up on us when we weren't expecting it. Suddenly we wake up one day and we're stiff when we get out of bed. And we can't really crouch down the same way we used to because we get that hip pain. It's just these, life kind of sneaks up on us when we're not paying attention, when we're busy doing other things. We're busy living and we don't notice life kind of creeping up on us. So I do wonder if you're starting to kind of have those more existential kind of thoughts, that we're getting older. Maybe you have lost loved ones. I feel that how to put this in a gentle way. I feel that you have a lot of experience behind you. I feel that you have been through a lot in your life, but not things that were like sudden. Does that make sense? That maybe there was a long illness of someone in your family. Maybe it's one of those things where life does kind of creep up on you when you're not expecting it. And then suddenly, here we are, we're older, we're a little bit more stiff and rusty, But I do feel like you have grown a lot in your life. And I feel like with this kind of gradual life kind of thing, you have to acknowledge how far you've already come in your life, how much you have already grown. It's hard to see. We look in the mirror every day, we look the same as we did yesterday. Think back 20 years, I bet you we look a little bit different, it's hard to really see in that day-to-day way that things are happening, that things have changed, that we've done anything or been anywhere, or that our bodies are different, our minds, our hearts, everything is different. But in the moment right now, it feels like I've always been this way. You know? Maybe some of us have, I don't know. But I think that if we really were to do this kind of work, which I think you're doing, this kind of introspection, I think you will see that from 20 years ago, let's say, to now, a lot has changed, a lot has happened, and you have changed and grown and evolved a lot. Okay? I think sometimes we start thinking, I haven't done anything. That I should be in kind of a different place with my life than I am. But let's look at that Eight of Pentacles up here. Because I think this is like a slow and steady. Now the Death card's slow and steady too. Right? It doesn't need to be in a hurry. It's going to get to everybody eventually. But the Eight of Pentacles is us kind of saying, I know about that. I know about that process of death. And it's not meant to be morbid. This card could be called life, it could be called change, it could be called rebirth. But that just doesn't have the impact that death does, right? It's supposed to represent the most fundamental force of the universe, and that is change, right? Progress, right? Maybe not progress, that has moral connotations, but change. This is you understanding the process of change and knowing that all of your actions right now may not have any results right now. May not feel like we're really doing it. You put a little bit of water on a plant, you stare at it, you can't see it growing, right? Trust me, I've done that. I'm bad with growing plants. My wife, she's got the green thumb, not me. But we know that what we do now is going to have results. We go back a month later, that plant's going to look different. But you may not be able to see it day to day. It just kind of looks what it looked like yesterday, you know. But over time, we see the progress. And I think that's what this Eight of Pentacles is talking about. You have come a long way in your life. You have grown a lot in your life. And I think financially, physically, career-wise, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, a lot of growth, right? A lot of growth. And you're not done. You're not done. I do think that there's one person that you lost that's kind of part of this current shedding of skin. I think it might be a maternal figure, mom or grandma. And I feel like maybe that was recent. Okay. And I'm starting to get the feeling with this Tower card that this might be like the first person that you've kind of lost in this kind of a sudden and abrupt way. It's because I think with the Death card and this gradual thing, you kind of have time to prepare a little bit, right? I mean, forgive me, a little bit. But when it's sudden, there's no warning. There's no way to prepare. There's no way to say the last thing to them that you wanted them to know. Maybe that's why we don't have any Swords cards here. For some of you, I think you didn't get the opportunity to say what you needed to say to them, or to her, if it is a mother figure. But they want you to know that they know. You have said it out loud, and they heard you. Okay? After they'd passed. You could say it now and they will hear you. They already know because they know what's in your heart, you know. And Spirit wants you to know that you may not have had the chance to tell them before they passed, but you have told them since, and they know. Okay? Okay, let's move on from that. The Tower energy very much is the spiritual activation too. Okay? And I think that this is kind of this is also unique for you, and it might one thing might be related to this mother figure as well. But with the Tower card, it is kind of an abrupt spiritual experience. It's not the same as this kind of gradual evolution of your soul as you kind of as you advance in your wisdom and your experience, and we start to kind of we start to mature in our spiritual energy. But the Tower is kind of like bang, sudden spiritual enlightenment. It's that kind of that Kundalini experience that is sudden, and it changes everything. It changes your consciousness, your beliefs, your values, your thoughts, your words, your deeds, everything. Changes the physical structure of your body even. And so I feel like that is that's part of this withdrawal. That's part of kind of what we're dealing with internally. And the Ten of Cups underneath everything. This, I think, is this is a good match for the fire, right? Because I think that this experience that you're going through right now feels like it's wearing you out. It feels like it's too much to handle. It feels as if it's going to tear you apart, right? Well, the Ten of Cups underneath everything is exactly what the Ten of Wands need. It reminds me of the Grail and the Lance. Yeah. It reminds me that when the Grail and the Lance come together, and maybe it's because fire and water kind of, they're able to not cancel each other out, but they're able to harmonize, right? And when they do, I think especially when we have the tens here, and it's talking about the entire life, right? Every facet of your life is experiencing this, It's getting every corner of things, yeah. But these two together, that's what brings about the healing in the Grail legends, right? When the Lance and the Cup are together, the Lance and the Grail, when they're together, that's when success and abundance and healing and love and prosperity can really flourish. Yeah. So I think that it feels as if this is going to tear you apart, but you have the absolute perfect complement for this, if it is a spiritual Kundalini kind of energy. Or what I'm trying to say, I think, in practical terms is, whatever this Tower energy is, whatever's happening to you right now, you have the capacity to contain it, to hold it, to be the vessel for it, and allow it to flow through you, and you will be okay. You are the vessel of it, right? Whether we're talking about the abrupt loss of a loved one, or this spiritual awakening, you are the vessel within which all of this spiritual fire is going to be collected, right? And it will change you, it will change things, it will change the physical structure of your body. But that's part of the process. And you can handle it exactly, 10 to 10. It's a 1-to-1 kind of ratio, right? So I think that's very, very important. And it's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to feel exhausting. It's going to feel 1 minute you want to cry, 1 minute you want to rage against the world. And that's part of this process. But now let's go to the path of the serpent. All right. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription if you haven't subscribed yet. Please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And it's good for the channel. Really helps out the channel here. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you very much. 3 of Pentacles now. Now we've dealt with this experience. Now we're dealing with it. We are either in the middle of it or we're coming out of it. We understand the process of change on the physical, mechanical, financial plane. Okay, the material world. We understand how change happens, why it happens. We understand the mechanisms of it. We understand how to be in harmony with it. But understanding how something works is not the same as working it. Yeah, not the same as working it. So I think from here, we have to then re-enter the world. And so you've got all of this enlightenment, you know. You've had your enlightening, your spiritual activation. You got to take it out into the world. You got to go outside with it, you know. You got to give it a test drive. Yeah. And so I think you are, and I think that you're going to find that you have a new approach to everything you do. There's a new way for you, because you understand the process now, because you understand more. You have this enlightening. I don't know what it is. But there's a deeper understanding in you now, and I think it's a result of this kind of spiritual experience, this kind of existential crisis almost. Yeah. Now you understand more of kind of how to manifest what you want, how to know what you want, right? And how to go about manifesting it. So the next card we get is, of course, the Empress in the environment. It's almost like everything you touch turns to gold now. It seems like you're going to be out in the world, and it's like you're performing miracles. And I'm not, it's not tongue-in-cheek. I'm not joking here. By understanding the process, those deeper spiritual forces and deeper spiritual laws of the universe, you're able to make almost everything in your environment Empress energy. Okay, Empress energy. Spirit's showing me some old, this is random, old Tupperware, like the plastic storage containers, like with the red lid. And there's a name written in like Sharpie or something, but it's kind of faded out. It feels like this is like mom's old Tupperware or grandma's Tupperware. Do you still have that? I think what happened was they, gave you leftovers and they wrote maybe your name on it. Maybe they wrote their own name on it so you'd remember to give it back. Yeah, I think that's it. But then you never gave it back. You still have it. But it's in their handwriting and it's their name. But it's a little bit faded because you've probably washed it several times since then. That's just a little confirmation, a little validation that I'm receiving. That I don't think it has anything really to do with this, but we do have the connection with the tattoo as well. So there's this idea of names sticking around, right? You didn't cover it up. The name's still there, a little bit faded, but it's still there on the Tupperware. So it's like it's part of who we are. We don't need to cover it up. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not trying to deny it. It's part of me. Yeah. And I think that represents a lot of things. Not just the ex, not just the mom or grandma, the Tupperware, but this idea of the experiences that we've had, the choices that we've made, the things that we've seen, the things that we've been through are part of us. And we don't need to cover them up or hide them or deny them. We need to wear them as badges of honor. Yeah. I also feel like you've got a scar on your leg, or not like on your calf, like shin area almost. And I think that's from maybe I don't know if it's what are the things called, an ATV? Is that what they're called, with four-wheelers? I almost feel like that it's from one of those kinds of things that people seem to enjoy these days. I don't know if you had an accident with that and you have a scar on your leg, shin, calf kind of area. Back to the Empress. It is a card that means healing, right? And I think healing is not the healing is kind of the appearance of scars, right? When we have a scar, it means we've healed. Doesn't mean we're damaged or broken. It means we've healed. Maybe we're not done healing. Maybe we are still kind of raw about things, there are still wounds that are open, but we can heal. And we will heal. I think we have to take our magic, take our self, and go out into the universe, out into the world, and find those relationships. Build those companies, build those community centers, build those neighborhoods, build those networks of people, build those institutions that bring people together. Whether it's just you, getting to know your friends again, getting to know your family, or if it's you, starting a business, finding that sense of purpose. What do you want to put your magic into? Maybe you are starting something brand new, business. I feel not like really a business necessarily, but a foundation, a charity, a community thing. Something that's meant to kind of help people. It might be like a nonprofit or something, but it might be for profit too. But it's something that it's not just a business. It's something that's more, I think, community oriented. Yeah. The Four of Wands here. This is interesting to be in the position of what we don't want or what the obstacle is. For one, the obstacle is closure. Yes, we've got to close these wounds and heal, right? And there may be scars. And those scars, again, we wear proudly. This is also the card that I think it's kind of worried that we're going to close the book on the past, And I think that's kind of the fear that we have. And I think that's partly the reason why we do this kind of internal hermit-style work and do this introspection, because we don't want to lose touch with ourselves and with these memories and experiences. We feel like maybe our whole identity, our whole soul itself, is just the collection of experiences that we've had. So in that sense, there's nothing permanent and fixed. Everything is constantly in flux. You are your experiences. You are your interactions with people, with the universe, with the world. And maybe you're coming to understand that process, and now you want all of your experiences to be Empress experiences. That's the kind of soul you want to build. We're not objects. We're not static things. We're not fours of anything, right? We're the process. We're not a human being. We're a human doing. We are function, not form. Yeah. And that function is consciousness, interaction. And so we have a Four of Wands here. Maybe this kind of feels like, if I lose my past, if I forget my past, then I forget who I am. I lose who I am. Okay? And that's a very valid and very understandable kind of thing. What the Fool is teaching us, and the Empress too, is that we are creating ourselves every moment, every moment of consciousness, even in dreams and even in sleep and coma and unconsciousness. That spark of life that's in us is every moment creating who we are. So the Fool is no one and everyone at the same time. This is no soul, but it's also the all soul, right? The world soul. So we may lose ourselves in every moment, but we may be creating ourselves anew in every moment too. It's a constant process. It requires interaction. It requires consciousness. Requires awareness. Yeah. And the Fool, I think, is that energy. It's a zero card, right? It's going between a fool and a magician, a 0 and a 1. 0, 1, 0, 1. That's the language of the universe, right? It's the binary code. It's yin and yang. It's positive and negative. It is manifest and unmanifest. It is every moment forgetting who we are and learning who we are. Because experience is coming in and going out to the other side, right? It's almost in one ear and out the other. And I think there's a deeper spiritual meaning to that phrase. You've heard that, right? In one ear, out the other. And yeah, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And divinity or eternity is right there in the middle, where that information passes from one ear to in one ear, out the other. And it's right at that middle point that is the infinite moment, right? Let's look at the mystery card. I think, gosh, really big, big changes in your life. I want to see this as some more earth energy. I want to see that we're taking this kind of new perspective and we're manifesting something that is going to be prosperous for you. I want to see this 8 turn into a 9 of Pentacles. Okay. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, the world. The world's soul, right, is better than the 9 of Pentacles. This is everything and anything. This is nothing and everything at the same time. This is the manifest and the unmanifest at the same time. It's the Fool and the world, the beginning and the end. This is everything and nothing, above and below. This is really, I think, it's freedom too, right? Because it is this being, this Fool energy that's out in the universe as two very fundamental forces. There's consciousness, and then there is the field in which consciousness can exist, can interact, right? As soon as there is consciousness, there is that of which we are conscious. Otherwise, we're not conscious of anything, right? So there would be no consciousness. So consciousness implies something that we can be conscious of. And in a very fundamental way, you're having this spiritual experience. And it's just up to you now. This is almost like they're completely naked, right? That they're unmanifest, that they're just kind of skeletons, and you've got to put the details on there. This is just a really big empty circle with a little dot in the middle. You've got to color it in. You've got to put the details in there, right? And I think your details are going to look a lot like this one, like the Empress, this kind of energy. And that's the world that you're creating. That's the experience that you're going to have. That's the soul that you want, the consciousness that you want, and the object of consciousness. Again, we have the idea of 1 and 0, right? The point of consciousness and the infinite kind of field of consciousness. And this is the process of life right here. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link up here or down here, above or below. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday. But I'm here every day, so just come on back, see me again tomorrow, okay? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Yeah. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.